do that again. My favorite part.
I'm so excited. This is really good. It's like
Lovely.
really good. Look at the berryness to it, hey?
Yes, the hibiscus.
It's delicious. Hate this tea.
It's never enough hibiscus.
Oh, so good. But I love lemon balm too.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we doing today? We're making flower crowns.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh,
And why are we making flower crowns?
we are making flower crowns because today is Beltane. And that's something you do on Beltane. It is actually protection. And it's said to be protection actually from the mischievous fae that come out to play on this day. And I don't know, you guys can't see it right now fully, but we came out to play with the fae.
Aren't we, Faye? Are we not?
We have a little mushroom circle. Today we've got lots of honey, and we have oat bread, and we've got chocolate and dates. We've got so many good things here. We're going to be snacking. And look at the Maggies. Okay, you can't see them, but there's 2 Maggies that one bought. They are going to be out here looking for this stuff later. I feed them every day.
The birds are amazing out here. It's all I could hear. It's so beautiful.
It's so
They've
nice.
come to join us this evening.
Yes, they have.
And it's a beautiful evening in this backyard of yours. Like, it's so, what a beautiful day to do this.
I know.
Spring
I feel
has
blessed.
definitely sprung. I am
So
so
Beltane falls on the halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. So today is Beltane, and we are going to make the flower crowns, and the crows agree. They can't wait. And look at the moon smiling at us. You can't see it, but squirrel moment. The moon is smiling at us today.
It's just amazing in this backyard.
Okay, so I earlier went and clipped all of the suckers off the bottoms of the trees, and I made these little hoopies. So
Oh, so awesome.
you try one and see what fits your head best.
Okay.
And like, just know they are probably going to sit up a little bit higher just because the flowers will all be
Yeah,
on
that'll
there.
be beautiful.
But yeah, give them a try. See which ones work best for you.
Great, yeah.
Okay, so tell me. Oh, you're like, you have a little noodle.
It's a little bit too small. Let's see. Okay, hold on, sister. Hold on, sister.
Try them all. See which one works best.
That was a little loose. I'm just going to give them all a whirl.
Wooden halos, but they're halos.
But they're halos.
Yeah.
I think so. It feels a little bit more delicate. That's nice. Okay. I found one. It was awkward.
I think it's this one for me.
The first one you had on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it always is. You've done this before, right?
Yeah, just with flowers.
Okay, yeah. So basically, get yourself a pair of schnips, pair of scissors, and then also pick a color of yarn, or you can do, like, there's so many different things. And what we end up doing, I really want this green, but I don't know if it wants me. What we end up doing is we put the flowers on in like little bundles.
Yeah.
And we just keep winding and wrapping our little ball of yarn.
Okay.
And that's what kind of holds them on.
Okay.
Do you want to do a little card reading?
Yes, I would love to do a card reading.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Do I have to? I'm just digging in. Is that okay?
Do it.
Okay.
Please.
Can I have one of these dates?
Oh, I'm
So-
so excited.
Hold on.
Okay, madame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one. And we're going to trade. I got a slot.
Oh, I
Easy
love
does
this.
it.
Love who you are.
Yay. And Easy does it.
And transformation. We've got the butterflies. And some lavender.
Okay, so tell me, what does a butterfly mean to you?
A butterfly means to me is that a deceased loved one is visiting. That's what a butterfly.
Who's hanging out with her?
Yeah. Like whenever that came through for somebody with like a client or something, for me, that's a symbolism of a loved one. Yeah. I mean, I know the spiritual meaning is transformation. Yeah, for me, it's a loved one.
And I feel like butterflies are delicate and they're dancers to me. I see them just always dancing through the air. So it's just like they're so free and just fluttering along and having this joyously good time. So
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
That's a butterfly for me. I got a sloth. And actually, it's really funny because this makes me think of my daughter Haley a little bit. Because she used to have a boss who everything was sloths. And she used to get me to be like, make t-shirts and stuff with a sloth on it for her boss.
that's so awesome.
It makes me think of my daughter. But also, I'm looking forward to a slowdown coming. And that's what that feels like to me. a slowdown is coming. Yeah, because I've been going 1,000 miles an hour. This is, and it even says easy does it. So just take it easy. And I'm such a perfectionist with things that I'm creating and doing that I will push myself harder, I think, than it needs to be. And I'll do all this extra work and we don't even touch on it. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
I absolutely resonate with this.
So yeah.
So we have lots of ancestors with us.
We do.
What the butterfly is telling me.
Yes, I love it.
And I feel like I'm speeding up, so that card absolutely wasn't meant for me.
No,
I'm
No.
speeding up.
I need to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
I keep hearing in my head, it's not a race. It's not a race.
Mhm.
Like I was actually
Mhm.
messaging you the other day saying that,
Mhm.
like it's not a race. I keep hearing it's not a race. Well, okay, let's like just start making some flower stuff. Okay, and also I am going to actually weave a little wish into my crown as well. So I have some origami papers here.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna pull one that feels like I love it.
So with Beltane being basically the fire season, and we're setting intentions for this next season.
Mm-hmm.
What are you birthing, Jen? I know what I'm birthing. I'm working hard at it.
You
But
are
we're not
working
going to talk about that, but I'm
very
working
hard
hard
at
at it.
I am honestly, I want to birth stepping what I actually want to do. Like I want to be able to breathe more into that direction than I have been. So that's what I want to birth. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. So for me, then I'm just going to draw myself a little compass. Do you guys do that? Never eat soggy worms when you're drawing the direction?
It's so good. I used to be never eat shredded wheat, but you know,
Oh.
soggy worms is cute.
Never eat soggy worms.
And I love shredded wheat, but that was what we said as kids. Never eat shredded wheat. Yeah.
That must be from out east. She's an East Coaster.
Listen, I've been here since 2002.
So do you consider Saskatchewan the West?
Yeah.
And I consider it smack dab in the middle.
It is smack. Well,
Like I feel like it's pretty centered.
it is pretty centered. I mean, you go way east, and then what? You know, like just Manitoba, Saskatchewan.
I guess, yeah, Manitoba, Saskatchewan,
Yeah.
between the two.
Between the two.
I feel like I'm more like a middle.
Yeah.
But I am also West. Like that's actually I've been practicing witchy stuff for quite a while. And West is actually my direction that I always call in the water and the West. And when I'm calling quarters, do you know what calling quarters? Okay. So that is my direction. I always stand West. Boy, that was really hard for me to get to.
I love you so much. I really just do.
Do a compass on mine, and I'm drawing a heart because I want to follow my heart. Draw a little sunshine.
Well, I'm going to be standing in my fire priestess power this next season. So I was all about creation this season. I'm like hard at it, girl.
I have joy, abundance, happiness, following my heart, going in the right direction,
Growth, clarity.
good one.
I think the clarity is coming through.
Draw that little third eye on there.
Yes. Strip.
Take it, and I'm gonna roll it towards me. Like you can fold it if you want. I don't know. I like little scrolls. They're fancy as fuck. So that's why I choose that. But you roll it towards you because you want to bring the magic and the intention in towards you. And I love it when it's like you get this cute little scroll. Also, another thing, like when you're doing these little crafts and things like that, and you're setting your intentions and you're figuring out what you want to bring in and manifest for yourself, as we make this, we are actually programming our subconscious to be like, hey, this is important. Jen wants to follow her heart more. She wants to step more into her role as, you know, a spiritualist, I guess, and a hypnotherapist. And, you know, like, I want to fully embrace that. And by me, like, focusing on that while we make this craft, we're actually programming it in and giving it salience within our brains to be like, oh, this is really important. So yeah, bringing focus, I guess, a sharp focus. Because as you're planning this and as we're weaving these flowers, you can say with every time, oh, I'm going to have abundance, I'm going to have success, I'm going to follow my heart. And every time you're wrapping it, you're just kind of reiterating that. And it's almost like, yeah, you're programming yourself is what you're doing. So next time you see, you know, bright yellow flowers, because that's what I will probably be diving into, and some purple. When we see those flowers out in the wild, we'll be like thinking of our goals and being like, yes, step fully into what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah. Okay. What color string did you choose?
I chose red.
Red.
It's all about my firepower.
Nice. And of course I'm green because that's my favorite color.
Jan.
And I want, and you know what? Growth right here. Green for me. And my heart chakra.
Wouldn't it be amazing to be in Ireland or Scotland right now?
Right?
Oh, it's on the bucket list. A trip to Stonehenge. Wouldn't that be just incredible?
That would be so incredible. Okay, I'm going to tie a little piece of this green and say, abundance, baby. Bring me abundance and growth. Actually, growth would be so amazing.
Changing my clarity. I feel like I have a very strong vision of where I am headed, but it has been coming in so quickly that I am feeling a little overwhelmed. And so, just to make sure that I am not getting ahead of myself, you know, and then you could get feeling a little overwhelmed.
Yes.
And lose your focus.
And that's the last thing you want.
That is the last thing I want.
And for me, it's tough because sometimes I just get distracted with something that actually isn't what I want to be focused on, but I get distracted so easily. So I hope that I'll have a little more focus, if that makes sense.
So tell us a little bit more about Beltane.
So Beltane is the halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. So
What does Beltane mean?
Beltane means it means fire and light, I believe. It actually I think like Celtic, and there is a Celtic god called Belna, I believe, or if I'm wrong, I'm so sorry, but yeah, it's named after the sun god. Belna, I think it is.
And it means fire.
Let's see. I'm going to look up the Celtic sun god. We have a Google machine. Sun god. Searching. Look. Belenus. Okay. Let's read what this says. An ancient Celtic healing god. The cult of Belenus. Okay, Celtic god of fire. Belenus. Also known as Belios, or Belenos, or Belenos. There's a few of them. Is one of the most important Celtic deities. As the Celtic god of fire, he is worshipped primarily in Gaul and Britain. Belenus is associated with the sun, healing, and prophecy. The name Belenus is thought to come from the Celtic root bel, which means bright or shining. Wow. Do we feel smarter?
Yes.
Look at us go.
Yeah, mine says from the old Irish bell, the fire god Belenus.
Fire god.
Beltane is fire, so fire rituals, bonfires, torch processions, and candle magic are central.
And we have a fire going right now. So we are just calling in the jam. And also it's a big day for working with the Fae as well. So I actually have offerings out in my yard for them right now. Just so that they're kind to me. Don't always hide my stuff.
So it says Beltane is the crossing into the light and life, an energetic door swinging open from spring's germination to summer's abundance.
Okay.
Fertility and creativity.
Fertility.
Yeah, planting the seeds for this next cycle. What we're doing, sister.
Okay, I'm kind of actually loving how
So pretty.
this little thing's working out for me. They're fun. I'm just doing a mix of kind of all of them.
Me too.
I do love this. Like, come on, it's so cute.
It's so pretty, Jen.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm making a royal mess over here. So
That's the best part of it.
this is messy.
Isn't that what crafting is?
Yes, it really is.
What did I just?
I know. I'm like, what?
I
What am
just
I?
do.
So, is there any crystals for this? I think there is, isn't there? I brought out some rose quartz today because it just felt right.
Yeah, rose quartz. Anything to do for me right now. The unconditional love. Yeah, it's all focused on that for me. That resonates for me.
Yeah, me too, actually. But I'm really good at self-love. I really am. I'm really good at kind of taking care of myself and making sure that I'm having fun along the way, because that's what's important.
Absolutely. As I cut up unconditional love and strength. It's all about that for me. This next chapter of my life, which is the next how many years? 40 who?
40 who?
All about me. It's all about unconditional self-love.
That's awesome.
Following what resonates for me deeply.
Good. Good. And I think, like, as we get older as women too, like, we finally get our own lives back to ourselves. Because let's be real, as women, we're doing stuff for others a lot of our lives. So it's nice just to be able to step into the things that bring us joy and bring happiness for, like, what is going to bring us peace, because God knows we haven't had any for a while.
Well, I come from a lineage of women who wore self-sacrifice as a badge.
Oh.
Yeah. And died with disease, mostly cancer, took out most of them, and very young, very, very young.
So what's the oldest, like, somebody lived to in your family?
My great-grandmother, 74 would be old.
74 is the oldest?
74.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's old. And mostly it's like the middle 40s to early 60s would be normal.
Really? You better stick around longer than that. But yeah, I think you've told me before, you're going to live into your 90s, aren't you?
I'm going to live till I'm 93.
93. I think I'm an old 86er, actually.
93. I am breaking the generational trauma of self-sacrificing. And like literally they harbored so much of their emotion. It rotted them literally from the inside out. Is what it did.
And that's what happens if you don't actually process what's happening. It's going to get processed somehow. So again, like if you notice, a lot of women our age have autoimmune diseases because we suppress so much, because we're just like, we were brought up in a generation where children were seen and not heard. So that's how you grew up. You didn't actually like express yourself fully, really, ever.
No. So a lot of my purpose, a lot of my soul contract is basically healing all of this generational trauma, which in particular, for one, a hardcore one, would be feeling like you need to self-sacrifice and put everyone's needs ahead of your own, and everything is detrimental to yourself above anybody else's needs, wants, or desires. And working hard and being a workaholic to give everybody else what they need. Helping people to understand that, but to also, because autoimmune, yes, right? To be able to teach people how to process their emotions and to understand that it actually is trapped, stagnant, stuck emotion, and it's not an autoimmune disease. That's my life purpose.
Just to get it, like, show people how to get things
to get
moving.
People to understand that is actually what it is. Like, yeah, people just don't realize that all of the disease that they have, or all of the symptoms that they're carrying, it is not being able to process their emotions.
And that's so sad.
It is so sad.
Like, but how many times have you not said the thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times as women have we just not said the thing just to keep the peace?
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's
conflict.
That is a form of self-sacrifice. Not speaking your truth because the conflict that may come with it feels so overwhelming and scary and just not something you want to even dip your toe in the water on eventually. Eventually you program yourself to the point where you figure out ways to avoid conflict like a motherfucker actually.
That's like the main thing with unconditional self-love. It's the number one thing is being able to set a healthy boundary. And those healthy boundaries are being able to express your needs, wants, and desires
But
without guilt, without shame.
that's the thing. Boundaries feel really freaking hard. Like they are hard to, because it's just like you see the person who wants you to show up how you've been showing up forever, and you're putting down a boundary, and now there's suddenly resentment because they're like, what is going on? Like, why? What, you don't want to help me anymore? You know?
And that's where eventually those relationships, the ones that no longer serve you, they aren't for your highest and greatest good. You'll understand that it was just for a lesson. It was to mirror back to you what it was that you needed to do in order to resolve that karmic contract. They're there just to help you
So
to step into that.
Tell me, okay, karmic contracts. Tell me, what is a karmic contract to you?
Karmic contracts are many different things. There's so many different types of karmic contracts. They are in a relationship with somebody who feared that they weren't worthy of you, weren't worthy of your love, and you spent your entire life just like unconditionally loving them and like just loving who they were as a person, but they could not
Love themselves.
they couldn't love themselves, and they couldn't believe that somebody could love them in the capacity that you love them. But in that whole kind of relationship interaction with that person, they made you feel like you were the one that was unworthy, and that there
weren't enough.
that person not being able to see fully who you were and that you love them unconditionally. And so that dynamic,
Yeah.
you never were able to like fully unconditionally love each other and step into that harmoniously. And so you might come back to see if you can do it again. So that's like a karmic contract.
Okay.
Like, there's so many different kinds of karmic contracts.
There would be. I do like, I think like, you know, again, in this life, you're my parent. In the next life, you're going to be my husband. In the next life, you know, like I do believe we all like, we're actors constantly changing roles.
Yeah. You can come in as different roles to try and in order to learn that lesson, or you can come back in the same exact relationship in order to try and do it again. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
It can be, sorry, I'm like, what's this?
Oh, you're falling off.
I'm falling off. You definitely could come in as different relationships to each other, you know?
Yeah.
You were the mother, now you're the daughter, to see if you guys can learn it the opposite role. But a lot of the times you're coming in with the exact same person, and the dynamics of it might be slightly different, the situation. But
Like
it's
the
learning.
environment might change slightly.
Yes.
Okay.
They'll try and switch it up a little bit to see if you guys can figure it out. But yeah.
But again, it's your role to play. I feel like we are all like kind of like actors. We're just going, we're playing out these different scenes and seeing how it all unfolds. There's still like free will. I know everything's like predetermined, like a plan is set in place. You're the one making the choices in that environment, in that time period, in that emotional state of, and that wisdom, that level of wisdom. You're the one making all the choices. So yeah, it's a bit crazy. It's so fun though. Like, I love being here. I love the human experience.
I love the human experience too. It's been a tough road.
Oh, for sure.
But I love this experience.
Yeah. I feel like I've learned so much. I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm like killing it.
I feel like in the sense of the life lessons, I feel like I'm done with it. The hard stuff, the hard shit. I'm done with the hard shit. I am ready to step into the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I am done with the hard shit. I'm not doing any more of it.
Fuck you.
No, like I've done my fair share of it. I'm done.
Tapping out.
I'm realizing all the things. I'm realizing all the stuff I need to let go of, and that all of this shit is because I'm holding on to stuff. I've learned it all. I've learned all of this.
That is a big lesson to realize that shit keeps happening because I keep allowing it.
Yeah.
That's a hard freaking lesson to learn, but once you learn it, you've learned it. So, hey, You know those beetles that are like, they look like little jewels. They're like
So gorgeous.
like really metallic green.
Mm-hmm.
So that is called a rose beetle. And I'm going to tell you a little story that I learned today of how they came into existence.
Oh, cool.
So there once was a little fairy or a sprite. She didn't have any magic powers. She just had her set of wings. And her name was Rose. And she lived in a big pink rose. And it was the most beautiful rose in the entire garden. Well, the rose got picked by the gardener to be entered into a floral contest, but he picked it while she was sleeping.
Oh.
So when she woke up, she was inside the house in a vase in her flower, going, what is going on? And she can't get out to the outside. All she can see is the moon coming through the window and her little friends out there. So she was separated from everybody. And then the next morning, they took her to the show and she won first prize for the most beautiful rose. Like, it was absolutely stunning. However, it was inside a tent, and by the end of the day, all of the roses had wilted, including her own. She was desperately trying to look after her flower and bring it back to life, but it was failing. And she overheard the humans say, we just need to throw them out. They're all spent. So she didn't want to get thrown out. That sounded absolutely horrid to her. They took her back to the house, and the gardener said, okay, I'm going to go throw these out. So the moment he stepped outside, she flew out of the rose and went and hid. And she saw a bee. And the bee said, do you want to ride? And so she hopped on the little bee, and he flew from flower to flower trying to find her a new home.
Aw.
So she went to the red rose, but there was another little fairy in there. It was taken. So she went to the white one. It was taken. She flew to so many, and the bee was exhausted. He's like, just come back to my hive with me. And she's like, I can't live in a hive. I'm sure it's perfectly wonderful, but I can't live there. So he dropped her off on a little blade of grass, and there was a little dollop of dew that she used as a little pillow, and she had to sleep out on this blade of grass. Well, the gods saw this, and they thought, we cannot have this. She can't be out there by herself. So while she was sleeping, they turned her into a rose beetle. And she woke up in the morning, and she was shimmering greens and golds and blues, and she just looked so beautiful. And she would be able to go from every flower she wanted, and everybody invited her in to stay with them because she was stunning.
They are stunning.
Yeah. So anyways, that's how they got their name. A rose beetle is actually after a little fairy.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
They are beautiful.
So that's my little story.
Thank you for sharing. You got it. I always thought they were Egyptian. Like, they remind me they're
like
very
a scarab.
Egyptian.
Yeah, scarab beetle.
No, different than a scarab. Like, because they're smaller.
Yes.
But yeah, they're very Egyptian-like to me.
That makes sense. But you have some Egyptian eyes.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, love.
So that would make sense that you see that. You know what I mean? Because you resonate with it. Whereas
So
I'm like, all I can think about is that poor little fairy had to sleep in the grass, and then she got transformed in the middle of the night. But hey, whatever. She's stunning now.
She's stunning.
Yeah.
She's a stunner.
So anyways, it is Beltane, so you're supposed to tell little stories about the fae on Beltane. There you go. That's my little story for the day.
Thank you for sharing your story. So nice.
Lovely.
Oh, how's this tea? Probably ice cold.
It is a little bit chilly, but you know what? I keep going back for more, so it's because it tastes freaking delicious. I can't believe you made that little blend of tea. That's crazy good.
I made lots of different blends of tea and sold them.
So you don't sell them anymore,
I
though?
don't sell them anymore. Nope. I even had an online Etsy store. I sold them in my clinic. I sold them in the actual clinic. I sold them in 6 locations around PA.
So how come?
I sold a lot of products.
So you don't want to sell tea anymore?
No.
You don't want to have like a little stand store with them?
No, I'm not an in-person anything anymore. That's how I feel.
tea didn't have to be in person.
No, it's online, but I have to physically like maintain it and manage it.
I get that.
I'm not there anymore.
You've got other things on your agenda.
My focus has totally changed. I have been told. I always was just focusing in local community. And yeah, by teaching online and by teaching what I do, I get to reach people all over the world. So I'm just meant to impact on a grander scale than just local community. And by teaching people so they can impact people. And so that impact it just keeps growing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So if I'm going to do anything with my tea blends, because I think I have I'd have to count them, but for sure 20 different blends.
Holy moly, that's quite a few.
I did lots of stuff. I could teach it, and then other people could learn how to make tea blends, and then, you know, maybe even do a recipe book so they have my recipe. Like I've got stuff that's called New Moon Ease. That's for, you know, like any menstrual cycle or perimenopause, or I have Caliente Mamacita, and that's for anybody with menopause or perimenopause.
Okay.
I have Brain Vitality, and that's one of my favorites actually, and that's loaded with all the different kinds of mushrooms and gotu kola and like ginkgo biloba.
I love gotu kola. That's one of my favorites. I drink it often because I feel like it like connects me to my higher self really well. Like I suddenly have all this wisdom that it's like, okay, I'm connected.
So this tea, I will make you a jar of my Brain Vitality. It is power punch. It is good stuff. Like I did take all 3 levels of herbalism. I took an
What did you take it with?
Herbal Academy online.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did, yeah. And I took their...
That's a long course.
All 3 of them, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the 3rd level is almost 600 hours alone. So, yeah. And I took their entrepreneur course, which is a separate course. I took a foraging course. I took their bath and beauty, like all of their product course.
I think the foraging course would be so fun.
It was a lot of fun. And then being out in the country, that was one of my favorite things. I just love to go foraging, like spending all my time out in nature. Yeah, yeah.
And are you missing not being at the acreage?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. Especially springtime when everything starts to just blossom and
you're missing your plants. Like, do you have a little deck or anything right now that you could be like...
I have the tiniest little deck, but I'm going to deck her out, but we bought some fake grass. It made her really fluffy. You know, the good stuff at Costco is like so thick and yet luscious.
Yeah.
But there's like only room for 2 chairs and a little table. And like, so I'm going to get Steve to build me a wall, like a wooden wall.
Okay.
And then that way it with slots so that I could do my herbs
hang your plants and stuff out there.
I'm going to figure out a way to garden and have a nice set of steps. So even if I just have to do pots for my vegetable, like maybe I'll just do some tomatoes or like I don't even know what I'm gonna do, but I have to do something.
Yeah.
I'm used to having this massive garden. I used to grow all of my own herbs. Like Jen, I just I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah. Well, you can play in my greenhouse with me anytime.
Right. Yeah, like I used to have a farmer neighbor come and they would till the land for me. Because I grew all of my herbs, all of them. And I don't even know, I'm going to say half an acre they would till for me. And I would just plant garden.
You would?
Plant herbs.
You'd have a garden that big?
Yes, I did.
Holy crap. See, that to me feels like a lot of work. So I used to have, over in that part of the yard, these like garden beds. There's, I think, 4 of them over there. I felt like I was growing all these vegetables, but I was growing so many that they weren't getting consumed, and then, you know, stuff would end up going to waste because I would like get too busy and not have time to like can it or do whatever. Yeah. It just felt like I wasn't honoring the plants properly. So I decided to turn it into a flower garden instead, and that has been so good for me. They bring me so much joy because I actually find myself collecting all the flowers. I make flower crowns all the time.
I was lucky. I mean, I did work in long-term care. A lot of people were farmers as well. Like they did farming.
Yeah.
And some people were egg farmers, blah, blah, blah. Even my apple trees, I had 6 apple trees on the property. So at the end of a season, you would just gather things up and you would do bags and tradesies. Tradesies is right. Yeah, it was amazing. And neighbors. I had open door policy. The people who actually built my house, it was their uncle. And so all like the nephews were still living around the corner from me.
Okay.
And yeah, it was open door policy. And I would just leave the big basket of fresh eggs on the counter, and I'd come home with fresh buns or
Really?
cookies or whatever.
Did you have chickens?
We did have chickens. Jen, for years we had chickens. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
It's like I just clued in that, you know, with the eggs, there's freaking chickens. How exciting. Did you love it?
Yeah, absolutely loved it. It was such an experience for my kids to grow up coming from Toronto to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
What a
So we
change.
kind of like, we just dove head in and did all the stuffs. Because, I mean, if you're going to move from a big city and live on an acreage, you want to give your kids that experience.
Farm living is the life for me.
Yeah. I mean, I just dove head into anything I thought would be farm living. Like acreage living. I loved all of it.
I bet. But I do understand, like, acreage comes with a lot of responsibility, a lot of work. It's a level of work that I don't think people really realize.
They don't get it. They really just, until you're living it, you just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't understand it, I don't think, until you're actually living it. Yeah. And so after 20 years, like we'd had it.
You were there 20 years.
We were there 20 years. Yeah.
Wow.
We were tired, and like the kids are gone, and it's a lot of work for two people, and it was a big
How
space.
old was the house?
47.
Oh my God. So you had a ghost in there for sure.
Oh yeah, Ross, who built my home.
Ross
was there. Ross Mason.
Okay, so anytime you made changes, how was Ross?
Dude. So the first night that we went into the house, I said, does anyone else smell that? Nobody could smell it. It was the strongest mother BO that I've ever smelt in my life.
Oh,
And like
no.
the person's underarm was right in my schnoz. Oh, it was so strong, Jen. Like it was ridiculous. He made his presence known to me instantly.
Okay.
Ross did not like change.
So
Ross did not like change.
was not really supporting you guys coming in.
No. So over the years, I've met people who either rented my house or who had actually bought my house and who did not stay very long because Ross made his presence known.
Was he
Very aggressive.
really? When you say aggressive, what is he doing to like make you feel uncomfortable?
For me, like in the middle of the night, he would like sit beside me on the bed. He would rub my legs, rub my hair, tap my feet, tap my legs.
Shut up.
He would try and scare you, but I didn't scare you because that shit doesn't bother me. But to anybody else.
So was Ross like, dude, like I'm pulling out all my best stops and you're just not even batting an eye?
Yeah. No.
That's so funny.
He was just like, this
poor
bitch
Ross.
is like crazy because I'm not even affecting her. And my kids were the same. Like he didn't affect any of us in that way. He loved us.
So eventually he settled in and was like, okay.
Yes. Last I had somebody visiting he didn't know. He didn't like change. He didn't like new people coming to his space. He's like, who the hell are you? Why are you in my home?
Really?
Yeah. Yep. He made that very clear. My sister is very gifted as well. She just didn't know she was gifted. I woke up to my sister jumping, screaming. So it was a 3-bedroom at the top floor.
Okay.
And like, you know, the doors are pretty close. And I woke up before she was even in my room. It's like, I just knew. And she came wailing in and I said, what's wrong? She's like, there's a man at the window. I said, what do you mean there's a man at the window? She's like, there's a man at the window. And she's just losing her shit. So she starts explaining to me what he looks like. He's so tall and he's so ugly. He has this big nose. He's so creepy looking. And so, I mean, Ross must have been almost close to 7 feet. He was a very tall dude and had a big, I have pictures because, don't forget, the nephews and stuff are my neighbors. I have pictures of my house being built.
Oh, wow.
Like, I have pictures of so much cool stuff. Yeah. And so I knew exactly what he looked like. And he did. He had like, almost like, you know, some people, they look like they have an owl schnoz, like that big beaky nose. So he did. He had this big beaky nose. She's explaining to me, and I was like, "Oh God, it's Ross."
It's just Ross.
And you see him clearly, like, "Oh God, I feel so bad." So, but she had no idea. She literally thought it was a man. In the bedroom, she didn't realize she was gifted and she was clairvoyant.
So that would have been such a shock for her.
Yeah. So not only do I have to tell her, okay, it's spirit, Sister Jane, you're clairvoyant as fuck, and you can see spirit, Lila.
Well, yeah, if she's like actually describing him to a T.
She described him to a T. And she said every time she was like, I'm like this, and then I'd peek and he's closer, and then I do this and he's closer. And she said, and I did this, and he literally was right here. She's like, I jumped the fuck out of bed so fast. And so anytime she came to stay with us, Steve would have to sleep in the spare room, and she'd have to sleep with me.
Oh, funny.
It is funny. But what a way to learn that you are totally clairvoyant.
Yeah, that would be actually so scary.
Yeah.
And you think, like, how many people are clairvoyant and have been terrified by things like this, thinking there's some peeping Tom and they're calling the police and all that fun stuff, when it's actually just a ghosty. I'm going to go stoke that fire for us.
Yours looks so beautiful, Jen.
It's coming along.
It looks gorgeous.
I love the burgundy ones in there.
They're just such a beautiful color.
Yeah, it's like inch by inch building these little crowns, hey?
Yours is beautiful.
Thank you.
It is so nice.
Yours is too.
I'm indulging your crafty stuff.
I know, but it's fun.
It is
Crafts
fun.
are so fun. And again, like, it doesn't have to be perfect because guess what? We're not selling it. It's not a product.
No.
It's like for us. So
Absolutely.
yeah, as long as you're like, yeah, I made that. It's fun. That's all that matters. I really just care if we had fun doing it.
Absolutely.
And I kind of am loving this little, like, Celtic music that we're listening to. It's like quite the
Giving
vibe.
me the vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving me the vibe.
Welcome to Beltane. I love it. So have you celebrated Beltane in the past? Or is this kind of your first go around with it?
It's not my first go around, but like I've said to you, I haven't really stepped into I don't even say witch, but yeah, like I haven't stepped into this aspect of myself. I have when it comes to herbalism and yeah, but not with the ritual aspect of it is what I'm trying to say. Not with the annual ritualist stuff.
I am definitely a ritual lady. It's one of my favorites.
I've just never met anybody to do it with.
And
You know what I
now
mean?
you got me.
Yeah, I think that's not having community too, right? So,
Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe next Beltane we'll have more than just you and me here.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, we'll have a whole bunch of ladies. Yeah, I'm starting to fall in love with this crown. Like, I can't wait to wear it.
Me too. I take pictures.
Oh shit, I was gonna go stoke the fire. Okay, after this tie. I get so distracted so easily.
You just get so into this. That's what I'm saying. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just like doing my damn. I'm like, oh yeah, we should be talking.
So true.
I just get so into it.
I'm gonna go throw a log on the fire while I'm actually thinking about it.
Okay.
And I might wear my flower crown. on the
It's
way.
beautiful. It is so nice, Jen. Amazing job.
This is great, right? This is a fun thing to do. I like it.
I love it. So much.
I really feel like I'm celebrating Beltane today.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining me. So good.
Thank you for the experience.
I feel like that's like one of my favorite things to do is to create experiences.
Yeah, that's what you say all the time.
It's one of my
One
favorite.
of your purposes.
I think so. Give people an experience that, they've imagined and thought about, but nobody actually figures out a way to make it happen. I will figure
Absolutely. So one of the things I'm being guided to do, part of this thing that I'm working on, is to create, the majority of it is going to be based on your soul blueprint.
Okay.
So-
So how do you read a soul blueprint?
Exactly. So I've been working on what does that look like and how do I pull that all together and what aspects of somebody's soul blueprint is going to give me their karmic contracts and soul lessons. And
So is it like reading the Akashic records?
No, it's astrological
okay.
for all your different aspects of your
So
birth
do you
chart.
want to hear my crazy part of my birth chart?
Sure.
I have a stellium in the 12th house. If you know, you know. It is death and rebirth, over and over and over
Love it.
again.
Yep.
But everything is secretive and in the dark and isolating, and there's all these things that I feel like I've blown the doors off of it.
That's amazing.
It's a bit crazy, but I used to say I have a stellium in my or I have a stellium in my 12th house. You can't scare me. I scare me more than you scare me. Definite adventure.
Anyway, so I worked through mine and Steve's, and
Okay.
it's actually kind of scary. Our even being able to figure out our karmic contract and what I've experienced with him is bang on. They're bang on.
So
It's kind of spooky scary, actually.
because all the stuff that you're supposed to experience in this lifetime by reading your astrological charts and things like that.
Yeah.
And you're like,
It's
okay.
wild. And I think a lot of it I wouldn't have completely understood except for, actually living through it. Now I'm like, oh my God. Wow.
So you're a Scorpio sun, right?
I am.
So the sun sign to you, what does that mean? The sun, is that what you're showing the rest of the world, or is it who you truly are?
It's who the rest of the world thinks I am.
Okay.
It's not who I truly am. My rising is actually Libra.
You're so balanced and just making sure everything's kosher and good.
And my moon is Aquarius.
You have trouble making decisions then, is what that means.
I think I get stuck with overthinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Aquarius is
Aquarius
humanitarian. Like
Yeah.
she needs to be connected to the world. So me, I am an Aries sun. Surprise! Surprise! And then a Taurus rising.
Okay.
Which makes a lot of sense because I love the comfort of everything. I'm bougie as fuck and I love it. Actually, I'm a Cancer moon.
Oh.
So that's a part of my whole empathy and compassion. And
I love astrology.
I do too, actually.
Do you know that to be a herbalist back in time, you actually had to learn astrology first?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you couldn't be a herbalist unless you understood astrology because it's so interconnected. Yeah, it came first. It was the very first thing that you needed to learn in order to become herbal.
That's so
We work with the cycles.
interesting.
We work with all of those things.
Yeah, the lunar cycles. Oh.
Yeah, you have to understand all of that.
Because honestly, as the moon shifts throughout the entire month and it's in a different astrological sign, do you not notice the ebb and flow of how you're moving and how you're operating? And yeah, that moon is affecting you. Like, I really believe that.
Oh boy, that's never affected me.
Yeah.
I'm in my red moon cycle and it is a biatch. Yeah, I miss my birds. I had so many birds like you.
The biggest visitor that I get is the Maggies.
Yeah.
I
used to.
love Maggies.
But then I got blue jays on my property. I had 6 of them and they don't get along. And so they bullied out the magpies and I had magpies for years.
Really?
As soon as the blue jays moved in, nope, they disappeared.
I've never seen a blue jay here.
Well, I don't know if you noticed or if it works the same here as it did for me, but I had like different migrations of birds during the season.
Yeah.
Especially in spring, I guess, as they're migrating. But yeah, and it was like, I'd have these black and red birds for like 2 weeks and then they're gone. And I wouldn't see them for the rest of the season. But then I did have the ones that lived on the property and it was home for them. But I had magpies for years and I was like, where did they all? They are a pain in the ass bird. They're beautiful. They're so intelligent.
They're so smart.
They're so smart.
Did you know that a magpie, there was a bottle of water sitting there and the water was too low that his beak couldn't reach, you see them, they will start putting pebbles in the bottle of water, bring the water level up. That's how freaking
That's what I
smart
mean. They are so smart. Like, they are so intelligent. They just really are. So, a pain in the ass because they're so fucking smart.
Oh my God, your crown is amazing.
Thank you, Jen.
That is gorgeous.
This is fun. Now that I'm getting to fill it in.
Yeah, the filling in part is lots of fun.
The birds.
Me too.
I don't know what it is, but I just feel so connected to birds.
Do you think you were a bird in a past life? I know I was.
I'm sure we were all of those things.
So I had this crazy experience in a sound bath once, actually, where I saw all of the seasons. I felt like I was actually a rock.
Yeah.
And I saw it was like the night sky started just going slowly over. And then suddenly it was like it sped up. And it was like going like this, like moving throughout, like almost like years and years. It felt like amazing. A time lapse.
Yeah.
And then I realized that my rock had split and a seed was growing up, like a flower in between. And then I saw myself and all of my energy as the rock now transformed into this beautiful flower. And then all of a sudden, I think it was a bird or no, an insect. I had like a caterpillar on me eating my leaves, and I felt me transform into the caterpillar. And then from there, I turned into a bird that swooped down and ate the caterpillar, and my energy transformed into the bird. And then the bird was eaten by a wolf, and it transformed into the wolf. It was like this whole cycle of me just moving.
What's your soul's ascension? Because we do come from the earth, and you start as the grass, as the stones, as the trees, as the birds.
But it was like
There's
I
an
saw that
ascension.
whole
You just
path
seen it.
in fast forward.
Yeah, that's amazing, Jen.
I felt like
What an
I had
experience.
the connections with everything all at once.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, so what did you experience in the sound bath? I'm like, wow. Are you ready for it? Shit's about to get wild.
So sound baths are so powerful.
I love me a good sound bath so much. I think that's why that's why I ended up buying the bowls, is because I loved it so much. And let me tell you, the experience of like buying the bowls and learning to play them and just forming those relationships, like, because you form a relationship with each bowl, and it's like they have a little personality. It's so fun. I feel it's really enriched my life, and actually really enriched my practice. Because before, my practice was always just like me doing hypnotherapy. Oh my God, yes.
I'm struggling to cut this.
Okay, here we go.
I gotta get off this chair. My bum is.
My bum is numb. There's lots of pillows, or you can get. Do you want a lawn chair?
No. I'm gonna stretch up my leg.
Oh no.
Oh, my knee.
Are you gonna be able to walk tomorrow? Now I'm a little worried about you.
Okay.
Us old broads got to stick together.
Right? The struggle is real some days.
Next Beltane, maybe not a cop a squat.
The struggle is real.
It is. Like, that's a part of getting older. Like, my mind feels like I am honest to God a teen. Like, I can just run around and play.
Dude,
but
right?
My body is like, whoa.
I feel like I'm 30. Like, I just forget.
You say 30. You think 30?
Just feel so young.
I do too.
I don't feel my age. And then my body makes me realize that I'm not my.
I know that
30
sudden
anymore.
realization that, oh, crap.
Yes. But, like, I honestly, I feel so young in my mind. In my mind, I have not aged.
And do you think, like, our seniors are like that too? Like, do you think that's how they're feeling? Like, you know, when you go to, like, you see a care home and you've got, like, this guy running around chasing all the little old biddies and stuff, like, in his head, he's still, like,
Yes.
you know, a young man who can still, like, he's got
They forget their limitations. Don't forget, I worked there for 11 years. They forget their limitations. Like, they really just do.
So, like, how many times were you, like, shooketh? I need to know.
It can be almost on a daily. I mean, it depends on, at the time, who your clients were.
Was there someone that you were like, Johnny?
Yes.
Like, what the heck? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there, like, a lot of supervision with that? Like, you gotta make sure that, well, because I'm sure their families don't want grandma, like,
You know, in our dementia ward, we did have these two. They would just snuggle up on the couch together, like lay down on the couch and just snuggle. You know, they're both married.
to other people.
To other people, but they don't know, and you're just looking for that companionship,
that connection.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are you gonna do?
And did
The families, you know, there's no harm in it.
did the families usually understand?
Yes.
Because that would be like, I don't know. If I saw somebody snuggling up to Clay, I would be ready to fight a bitch. You know?
Just saying, right?
Yeah,
just
I
saying.
really would.
It's gorgeous, Jen. Like, honestly, it's so beautiful.
I just love them. Like,
Yours looks soft and wispy. Very fey. Very soft and wispy.
you feel like, I want to say more like Day of the Dead. That's what it feels like.
Mhm.
More like, you've got your,
My
like,
scorpion death and rebirth transformation.
yeah.
Little fire going on.
Like the boldness of yours. I love it.
I mean, another piece of this bread,
Love
honey.
that you say bread, like
Bread.
red.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yes,
I didn't even know.
leave it to me to be like, hey,
My little Southern belle. I'm telling you. Well, Yeah, no. One of my past lives with Steve, one of my most recent ones, was in the 20s. And so that was in Chicago. So it's not from there. I've never had remembrance of this Southern Belle.
But you pick up the accent so
God,
easily. You know it has to have been an occurrence at some point. Like, has to be.
I just have not had any remembrance. So I'm thinking it's only positive stuff.
I would think so.
Because the only thing I remember is all of the stuff that I needed to work through. So
really, you don't
We've said
remember
that,
any
yeah.
of the good stuff. I remember good stuff. I do, but that's really a big focus for me. Like, I use the good stuff to get through the bad stuff. So that's actually one of my coping mechanisms, is just trying to, I'm going to see the bright side. I can get through this.
I'm exactly like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got through anything.
Oh God.
But I was here to get through it all. Right?
And we were here to experience it. We did it. And now we get to move on. Now we get to have fun.
So I'm thinking this twang is from a very positive experience. And I decided to bring a little bit of that with me so I would have her.
Nice.
Or him. I feel her.
You feel her?
Intuitively.
So do you think you've had more lives as a male or female? I've actually
had lots of male.
Really?
Yeah. And I think a lot of the transmutation that I've had to do, I really, on a soul level, like, it's there. I'm learning the shit that I put women through.
Oh, really? So you think that you were maybe a bit of a user and abuser? And...
Oh, I was all of those good things. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, no, I was a male in a lot of my past lives. But I also experienced a lot of past lives, too, where I was lesbian and was persecuted because of that. Or, like, so many. I have so much. So, one very vivid one that I remembered was I was in an Asian country, so I don't know. They had outdoor...
I've had an Asian life as well.
Yeah. This one, I was white. And my person, she was... So I don't know if she is like from Japan or where we were, but they had and I should look it up because I never have. But outdoor, you know those hot baths, but it was stone, and there was like 6 of these right in the earth. 6, like,
I bet you could still find it on.
I bet you I can.
You should look it up.
Just never looked it up.
Okay, we should be doing that.
I was hot as fuck. I was like smoke show, beautiful, like gorgeous, and I knew it, but I'm lesbian. And so I'm just like, yeah, bitch, y'all can look at me. Yeah,
You
not even
mind the
interested.
stairs or anything like that, but you like the admiration.
Oh, I was the, fuck you. You can look at me all you want, but I'm not one bit interested in you. And so, anyways, I was in the water. It was totally illegal, obviously, to be lesbian.
Yeah.
And so she was sitting on the edge of the pool, and I came up and had my hands on beside her and whatever. She's like, no, you can't. Like, she was freaking out.
You're going to get us in trouble.
Yeah, like, you cannot. But anyways, I wouldn't let go, and I yanked her in and started kissing her in the whole 9 yards. Well, she was so upset. And she's like, we need to go. Like, in that culture, for one. Yeah, hell no. And so anyways, they ended up following us, and they beat us to a pulp. They raped us. They did all the sorts of stuff, and then they killed us. So, like, there's just so many different kinds of lives where this objectification and all of that sexual trauma and all of those things. So I've been on both sides of it.
Okay.
And so, yeah, this is kind of like the end of having to, like, clean up all of what I haven't cleaned up yet.
Okay, so you're like, I made a huge mess, and now I've got to actually, like, try and make amends a little bit.
Yeah, and even in my family lineage, like, there's been a lot of this objectification.
But, like, it's so funny you hear, like, especially, like, with all the sexual trauma, like, that just becomes, like, it's almost like your body no longer has a meaning for you. It's not sacred anymore. So at that point, you can see why people go into, stripping and, I guess, doing things that other people would be not understand who haven't been in that circumstance. Because your body's no longer sacred to you. It's actually something that you're trapped in.
Yeah, you've disassociated from
it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. So, and then I've been digging into weight trauma, because I was like, no matter how well I eat, no matter what I do, no matter how well I take care of myself, no matter what I do, I don't gain weight, but I don't lose weight. It just, I cannot. And this is about 10 years of this.
Just I've come to the conclusion in my entire life I've never been a skinny mini. I've always been the fat friend. Yeah, and that's my life. That's how it's been. And yeah, a lot of it is protecting myself from some of the shit that probably shouldn't have happened.
It's absolutely, it's called weight trauma.
Yeah.
I was like, there has to be some kind of whatever that's going on with my system. And so, yeah, because no, I was never like that. Like, even after having the 2 kids, the most I weighed after having both of the kids was 114. Like, I literally was a tiny person then. I was itty bitty.
Wow, I've never been itty bitty.
Yeah, my whole life. Before the kids, I was under 100. Like, it was disgusting, actually. Vacation. If you are fat and unappealing, blah, 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 I was trained by the women in my life, then you're not going to survive. You're just never going to find a man that wants you.
Well, and that's how you survive. You need a man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and then to feel loved and connected to somebody, I got a lot of attention from men. And so, yeah, like, it's just all this objectification throughout my entire life, right? So I feel like I put on, I know, with the rape, molestation, all the shit that I've dealt with, that I put on this armor of weight to protect myself, because if I'm not sexually attractive for me to be looking at and oodling over, then I'm protected. I'm safe. So I know. So I was like, there's got to be a name for this. There's got to be. Anyways, so I've been digging into that, because that's definitely got to be a part of what I'm working on.
Hey. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it.
I'm just stuffing.
What do I want? I want.
Sorry. Did I leave you
Oh
anything?
no, I have chocolate still, covered in flowers, but I'm gonna eat it.
Delicious.
So good.
You are the grow.
You are the guy.
So
live magically.
Beautiful life, how beautiful you are.